Hello everyone and welcome to the 2014 VWE Hall of Fame ceremony. I am your host, the Big Shot Ninja Nirvana, a 2012 Hall of Famer. What it takes to be a Hall of Famer, ladies and gentlemen, is somebody who goes above and beyond the call of what they've done. It takes somebody with determination, an eye for glory, and everything else that goes along with it. For those who are here tonight, we want to say thank you for joining us in honoring each and every one of these special people tonight here at the VWE Hall of Fame. So please, before we begin, please give it up for everybody that has been in this Hall of Fame and for those about to go in tonight. Our first person being inducted tonight is somebody who is off the wall, crazy, and defined what crazy was in the world of SL wrestling. She not only was able to pioneer a women's federation that most of us have participated in, but she is also somebody that has been in some of the most amazing women's matches ever here in the VWE. And in my personal humble opinion, I say it's about damn time. Ladies and gentlemen, inducting Vendetta tonight into the Hall of Fame is Maxine Darkwatch.
You would have thought I've been doing this long enough that I would remember this mute Skype before doing something like this. I apologize for that. And please excuse the roughness of the speech as I had just finished it up. There are times that you go through your second life and think to yourself, just, what in the hell am I getting myself into? Let me paint a picture for you. It's Overdrive 2010. My first free preview working for the newly dubbed VWE. As I stood to the left of the commentary table, I look up, seeing Vendetta hanging off the scaffold with one hand, and Akasha safe above her. And a chainsaw starting to slip its way down the steel. Whenever anyone thinks of innovation in SL wrestling, they usually think of Vendetta first. Her matches were, even when they followed the rules, off-kilter for what people were doing at the time. She's someone with whom, if you faced her in a match, if you ever walked out of the situation without learning something, then there's something wrong with you. If something didn't work, she always found a way to make it work. And was always willing to try anything. After stints in Rage and HKWF, the Wild Child made her way to the VWE ring with her manager slash sidekick slash the stuffy that rides on her back, Mr. Honey Bunny, in tow and took it by storm. She's from SL Wrestling's golden age of female wrestling, from when most of the female Hall of Famers originated. The days when, and this is no offense to any of the boys, the best put together matches and storylines were from the Bombshells, at least in my humble opinion. To say Vendetta's storylines were normal was not to know her work. From battling it out for the GM spot, a feud that ended in the scene I described in the beginning, to fighting over who was the leader of the original Juvie Hall girls, to a feud forcing fellow classmate Nanny Gothley to be the new Incarnation's drummer, fighting with her sisters over shinies, to crashing into the arena in a tank, on a grappling hook, on a big wheel. And all of this being said before I even get to her accolades over the years, Vendetta is the first 3-time women's champion, former tag team champion. By the way, Ven, you're welcome. Damn VEI gluing me to the damn ropes. A multi-time Golden Rope Award winner, including 2 matches of the year, Tag Team of the Year, Bombshell of the Year, Co-GM of the Year. Also, the 2010 Queen of the Arena, and having held almost every Hawks belt, among other accolades. The most impressive, however, being that she is, unofficially, but I'm pretty darn sure, undisputedly, one of the most beloved people in SL Wrestling. Personally, I have a lot to thank Vendetta for. She was really the last kick in the pants I needed to get involved in SL Wrestling. And after a chat with her, I dropped off my applications here at VWE and Hawks for commentary. She helped train me. She sped trained me when the character said, Maxie, time to get in the ring. Yesterday. I started my career with her. Talk about the odd situation. A rookie wrestling with busted ribs, facing somebody with a busted arm. My first stint in VWE ended with her. Of course, this is not to mention her and Honey Bunny almost having scared me away from SL Wrestling with his constant peeping in my bedroom from their treehouse next door. No matter which way you slice it, just about everyone in SL Wrestling has something to thank this woman for over the course of the last almost 5 years. Be it helping you get your start, helping you a time or two when you were stuck, showing you the intricacies of the HUD, or just being a sympathetic ear. Some know her as the Wild Child. Some just as Vendetta. Others, Boss. Or, if I remember a certain commentary person correctly, that Looney Tunes freak of nature. To me, she's family. A comrade of arms. And a lot of times, oddly enough, my sanity. I have the great honor and privilege here tonight to induct this incredible woman into the VWE Hall of Fame in the class of 2014. Please join me in a huge round of applause for your newest member of the VWE Hall of Fame, the Wild Child, Vendetta. She says, Jeebus, how did people drive these things? Very, very carefully, Vendetta. Very, very carefully. Hi! Wow, where has this 6 years gone? I know the first 2 years seem now like they were in themselves 5 years long. Not in a bad way or anything, was just so much packed into the first 2 years. Wow. Well, I'll keep this short and want to thank anyone for their nominations, not just for today, but throughout my career. And even though I'm officially, and there are the dreaded quote unquote retired, doesn't mean it's going to be the last you see of me. Just keep trying to work together to improve and show the fans why you are proud to be an SL wrestler. Thank you.
My stepdad over there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it one more time for the Wild Child Vendetta, our newest inductee. Our next inductee into the Hall of Fame is someone that is a cornerstone, what was to the VWE women's division. While she may be small, she was not to be taken lightly by anybody. It is my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Nanny Gothley into the VWE Hall of Fame is Austin Knight.
Now, as anyone's known, or ever known, I used to be known, as you all know, as Jen Parkin, and I've met Nanny even before SL. I've known her probably good 4 to 5 years, and I remember seeing her on the door back in HKWF, and see her in probably is longer than that, to be honest. But, back at HWF, she suddenly showed up the door. I hadn't seen her even on SL, though I didn't even know she was on it. And here she was. Still the same person as I remembered. Stubborn, but also a bragger. But also probably one of the nicer people you'll meet, as long as you're on her good side. After talking for a while, as some people have known, I was creative over at HKWF for a bit, and when we hired her, she was willing to do about anything you needed to ask of her. Win, lose, it didn't matter. She was up to being out there to give a show to everybody. Years later, she'd have many accomplishments under her belt, but the most important ones were not belts or awards. The most important ones was when she got in the ring, she always made you look the best. She always made the match look the best. She didn't care about wins, losses. She cared about putting on the best show and making her opponent look the most awesome person to ever step in that ring. She's done many great things as it be one of the people to help found and run Hawks along with Vendetta. Along with also being one of our original bombshells over here at VWE. And now that even though she is retired, she still comes to visit us every once in a while. But, I'm going on and on. This is really her time to talk. So, Vendetta, kick Danny out here because it's her time to talk.
I'm gonna kick you in the spleen.
She says there's more lag here than at the old VWE arena near the bingo tables. Thank you all. It seems like yesterday I wandered up to the HKWF arena and asked Luke McMahon if I could have an application. I was given about 2 weeks to train, one of which I was on vacation. I had my test match, a little out of sorts, but seemed to do well enough to pass, and my career had begun. What a long, fun ride I had. There are so many people to thank. First, to the rest of the HKWF Fearsome Fivesome. Thank you, Ellie, Kimmy, Jen, and Ben. You all have been my inspiration and my encouragement. To Louvre, thank you for my big break. I will always remember HKWF fondly as the place that took a newbie in. Thank you to Seth Cameron and Jenny Parkin and Numbers Rosini and Catherine Blackadder for pushing a runt to the top of the mountain. You are the fellowship to my Frodo. Thank you to all other Fed owners out there, Broly, Kroll, Jack, Baza, DHA, Rocco, and all the others. You take crap so the rest of us can have fun and grow. Thank you to horses. You have carried me through each and every match I had, even those you were not in. You provide levity and intelligence to a place that is often bereft of it. Of course, thank you to my bestie, Vendetta. You and I have been through a lot together, so it's special that we're going into the VWE Hall of Fame together. Hopefully, this one will last longer than a day. Please spare no petitions. Before I get the hook, thanks to everyone else I have wrestled, worked with, yelled at, booked, ejected, banned, or whatever. All of you have contributed to me being here today. Thank you all, and as always, unleash liberty.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for the American athlete, Nanny Gothley. Our next inductee is someone who claims that they are classically trained. Not only that, but they also claim to be the professional stunt granny of SL Wrestling, and also touts that she is a knee brace fetish model. She also has a best-selling book, Horses on Horses, which I'm sure all of you have read from cover to cover. Ladies and gentlemen, inducting Horses Morrissey into the Hall of Fame is Jason Atrox.
Oh, hail the great Shamalama Ding Dong.
And he says, I've seen a lot of people come and go in SL Wrestling. I've seen many champions. I'm talking great champions worth the prized possessions they earned. I have also seen the dirty side of it all. People who want everything the easy way without putting even 10% of the effort it takes. What's sad is these people are fed so much that they are good, great, worthy, that they believe after a while that they are legends. To me, a legend is not someone who has won a plethora of easy-gotten accolades. It's people who have put forth the time and effort it takes to really know what it's like to think, visualize, and plan to put on great shows and have a successful career. A legend to me is someone who doesn't have to claim to be one, because there are people pointing saying, hey, that person over there, that's a real legend. Which brings me to the person I was given the honor and privilege to induct. In my humble opinion, this woman is one of the pioneers when it comes to women's wrestling and the system that we all take part in. There are those who claim themselves to be the queen of SL Wrestling. Unless someone has dubbed you of such titles, all it will ever be is a claim. Well, this woman who is about to come out here is not only a queen in SL Wrestling. In my book, she is a goddess of the squared circle. So it is with honor I bring you and congratulate in being inducted into the 2014 VWE Hall of Fame, Horses Morrissey.
I just turned my PC off 2 minutes ago trying to turn the volume up. How cool am I? Hall of Famer. Anywho. 2,490 days ago, I wrestled my first SL wrestling match. Woo! This makes me very old. Yes, even older than Ranma, although not in character and certainly not in the real world. In that time, I've done some pretty cool things with some pretty cool people. I've also done some Bobbins things with Bobbins people. Worst of all, I've done some boring things with boring people. More often than not, it's fun. My first run here in the VWE was mostly fun. I didn't wrestle on too many free previews. 1, to be precise. I didn't win too many matches, but that hasn't ever been the point for me. I was wrestling with what, in my opinion, was the greatest generation of female wrestlers in SL. 2 of them are also being inducted today, and several others are already in the VWE Hall of Fame. My feud with Eliza Riddler was the best fun. Our hair match at the Overdrive free preview wasn't the best, but the haircut was fun. Sadly, there was a certain scaffold match on the same show that stole the show. I think someone from that is also a VWE Hall of Famer as of today. I returned from my second VWE stint when SL Wrestling wasn't doing anything but upset me. Even mozzing up wasn't fun. Personally, I wouldn't have hired me. But Austin and the rest of the brass here are obviously a bit soft for me and let me in. Returning was the best decision of my career. This time, I wrestled on the big shows. I'm having fun feuds and winning. Take that, Nanners. I stole your winning spot. My first feud with Ray was great. It was short, sweet, but I loved our blow-off match. It followed an epic and very fast Lily versus Isabel. There's no way my dodgy neck could match their speed, although I'm sure Ray could have. We put on a different kind of match. It was slower, but there was a point in everything. Every movement told part of the story. I'm really proud of that match because it felt like we were really telling a story and it was kind of old school. I felt the horse's character came out well in that match. Then there is Christina Krovac. It's pretty wrong that I'm stood up here getting inducted into the VWE Hall of Fame and she's not because she's done so much more than me. Maybe they're trying to push me into retirement. Christina is amazing. Our feud was fun and I'm proud that it won a Golden Rope Award. I always say my best match was our ladder match. I thought we did something nobody has done before. If a scripted spot fest is your thing, then we delivered, and you should have fangasmed. If not, then I guess it sucked. She whispers halfway there, don't worry, I'll be done soon. I cannot stand here and ignore Nanny and Vendetta. Vendetta is the best, period. Nanny is kind, easygoing, but tough. She's a very close friend. We have similar senses of humor, and our in-jokes we generally do in public are funny to us. So I don't care what anyone else thinks. Oh, and Kelly, she made Horses Morrissey. changed my second life and real world. But that's another darker X Factor American Idol style story. Winding the clock further back, Paula Wilcox is the biggest influence on my SL wrestling career. She's not so active now. I hope she'll return. There's also Misaki, who I'd love to wrestle in a VWE ring. Someone poach her! Of course, I must thank Catherine Blackadder. She's virtually as old as I am and is one of the reasons why y'all doing this today. Kitty is great and it's brilliant to see her back in the ring. You should all I am her tonight and say thank you. Numbers 2. For all my arguments with him, and there's been plenty, he welcomed me back into the DCWF despite warnings from a former owner. He also gave me a chance and booked me against Nanny. Thank you. He's a good man, we just see things differently. Obviously, I'm right. I better mention my hateful friend Farrah Cool. She's so talented, but yet is friend with a loser like me. In the ring, I'll never forget her versus Mazza. I love that story. Outside the ring, we hate each other in private chats. Yes, we often call some people losers, but they are losers. Some may even be sat in this room. Farrah has always stood up for me, which is good because she's scary. My advice to everyone: never piss Farrah off. She will eat you alive and maybe throw a petition or two your way. Oh, and I'll mention Charlotte/Blocked. Thank you for being a friend. Quick mention for Erie too. She was so over with the crowd this year, but I guess I didn't have the right look for some people. She had a great year though. I just wish I could have slammed her in more Lego. And of course, Sydney Bear. He is my gimmick. I've struggled to write this. I've even broken a tooth while writing it. But now I cannot stop. I've probably gone on far too long, though. So if I missed anyone or not said enough about some of you, well then sus, because I'll mention you on Facebook, maybe in drama. Remember to come down and watch me batter 3 other wrestlers tomorrow in a 4-way gulp ladder sigh match. I'm not going anywhere yet unless I die, so horses is the future. But Lee and Izza are more the future. I'm so happy they'll get the main event for Wrestle Series. They both deserve it, and whomever wins, I know for sure they'll put on a Match of the Year candidate. And yeah, thanks. Another award for the collection. And make love, not drama. Actually, no, make drama too. But love as well. When I say love, I don't mean stuff Nanny does in front of Ace on wrestling mats. Be kind this, Crimbo. But if you cannot be kind, be entertaining. I think I pulled a mono and talked for far too long, so I'll shut up now. Thank you and good night. As she chants, losers, losers, losers. Woo! High five.
Let's hear it one more time for our latest inductee, Horses Morrissey. Our last inductee into the VWE Hall of Fame is someone that has been here ever since the VWE started. He even went so far as when the first Wrestle Series came up, strapped a sign to himself and went to other Sims shouting that Wrestle Series was happening at the VWE/XWA at the time. Ladies and gentlemen, inducting Ludi Graves into the VWE Hall of Fame is Stuart Wharf.
What can I say about the next inductee into the VWE Hall of Fame, class of 2014? Actually, probably a lot, and maybe some of it's not so positive. I mean, what is there to say about a man who has had a horrible sense of fashion at times, would basically do anything stupid to try and get a reaction from the crowd, whether it would be, cutting scathing promos in the ring, to freaking out over double rainbows, or even some questionable threats to certain old retired wrestlers. There's not many people who can say they left a lasting impact in Second Life wrestling, especially when it comes to virtual wrestling entertainment. However, Ludi Graves is one of those people, and I had the honor to work alongside him for many years as we helped shape and form the landscape of what you see before you today. In fact, if it wasn't for Ludi, I probably wouldn't be standing before you all today on this stage, mostly because I would have shrugged VWE off. See, back in 2009, just before this show called Wrestle Series happened, I was approached on a number of occasions to film VWE and broadcast them on Res.tv at the time. And at first, I pretty much ignored it. However, Ludi, the persistent pain-in-the-ass person that he can be, made sure that I would give this place a chance. And, well, I ended up filming Wrestle Series, and then, for years, helped do live streaming of Edge in prime time. So I guess you could say the rest is history. Sorry about that. However, from that moment forward, I witnessed firsthand the effort that Ludi Graves would put into making sure that the shows we put on, week in and week out, were top-notch entertainment for all the fans and wrestlers that watched the shows. It was truly an amazing thing to be a part of at the time. I mean, we had a guy who would spend hours and hours a day, and I can attest to that. He would spend hours and hours a day throughout the weeks just to make sure that the shows we put on each week were great, because he loved the VWE so much and wanted it to be the hottest place to be on the grid. Period. And I believe his efforts were not in vain. Because, again, just look around everything you see today, as well as look back at some of the great memories that were had. Now, admittedly, some of Ludi's most memorable moments were a bit unintentional. See, some people have mentioned Overdrive earlier tonight, and there was also another thing that happened at Overdrive where Ludi tried to climb a giant-ass ladder at Overdrive, and pretty much botched that. Also, Ludi, again, referencing what I said earlier, botched the English language in the worst possible way when trying to challenge Hulk Parkin. However, there were moments that I recall where Ludi was able to bend people's emotions, including his moment at Frostbite in 2011, when Ascension was unveiled and Ludi's arm was broken by Bryce Ketley. A moment that I still find great because there was people who were because we was able to create a situation where people genuinely felt bad for this guy. And this was at a time when people were just dead set against VWE at the time, or even Ludi, and they just couldn't feel bad for the guy. That's just some of the moments, but there's probably more and more that could be said. However, in my opinion, right now, this is a long time coming because of all the people that have been inducted into VWE Hall of Fame in the past. This man deserves his spot the most. So it is my honor to welcome Ludi Graves into VWE's Hall of Fame class of 2014.
I am awesome. I haven't been on the stage for a long time, folks. I haven't seen my video in ages. Go on, come on. Now you can cheer me. You booed me the entirety of my career. Now you can fucking cheer me for once. I have to admit, that is a very unfamiliar feeling that I'm getting right now, but that's a different story. Ludi Graves, the German sensation, 5-time heavyweight champion of the world, 2-time tag team champion, countless time Golden Rope Award winner, And one of my biggest accolades, hardcore champion, once. That was awesome. I remember so many things, so many great memories with so many great people working in this place that I absolutely adore and admire. People that I work with, people like Stuart Wharf, who, made this look around. This is the biggest production that I've seen in a long fucking time, and I have seen some great production. Then people like Brackman Welder, who was always a great guy to work with. Derek, the great one. Colt, who's sitting over there. I can see you bald. I can see a bald-headed head over there, Derek. So many countless things I could talk about. Yeah, and I know people want to mention that. Oh, what does it mean? What does it mean? Or The Visit, which you might be familiar with. But I have... I know, right? It was awesome. No pun intended. Anyway, I'm here for a serious thing, because the Hall of Fame deserves Woody Grace. That's what it is. It deserves Woody Grace. But I know that I told you guys a long time ago that I don't do material. That I always go out and give 150% and do it off my cuff and do it off the top of my head. And yes, I even told some people that I will go down on them. Even though when I meant a totally different thing, but that has been butchered to death. I have prepared a speech, ladies and gentlemen, that I would like to bring to you in the manner that only the dramatization Woody Grace can do. And I will now read to you the last chapter in the Book of Awesome. And I have it right here with me. Alley-oop. All right. Chapter 444. The Swan Song. It goes without saying that this is indeed a tremendous honor, but I like to take this moment to share with you all what VWE means to me. There was never a time when VWE was just a fad to me. You see, Second Life gives all of us the chance to pursue dreams that are otherwise unattainable to us in our real lives. And it's here in Second Life where I choose to pursue my dream of being a professional wrestler. And with that, I jumped in with both feet and joined the SL wrestling scene. Before VWE, I've been both a Fed owner and a wrestler, but it wasn't until I was part of the pioneers that would go on to create one Fed that would become the bar for which all other Feds aspire to be. That my SL wrestling journey found to correct direction. At this time, DCWF and HKWF were the two Feds that set the standard for SL wrestling. They were the standard until an upstart Fed called XWA just popped up from out of nowhere. Out of nowhere! When we started XWA, we did so with the intention to build the Fed that would change the entire dynamic of SL wrestling. We made the conscious decision to not abide by the landscape of SL wrestling community built before we got here, but to be the landscape for which the future of SL wrestling would be carved. And with that, XWA transitioned into VWE, and we became one Fed that set the standard. But it wasn't how VW started that made us the success we became. It was all the hard work put in, day out by those of us who all believed in what we were doing. We cared then. This Fed meant so much to us. It was all of us constantly working our asses off to maintain the top position in SL Wrestling. And we did so for more than 3 years. I've spent many days wondering what would happen if I ever given the honor of being inducted into the VWE Hall of Fame. And I've gone over what I would say and the message I want to send. I thought about what exactly I would say to maybe inspire and make a difference for those of you who carried the torch after I left. But as the months went by, I thought about this moment less and less. I began to believe that this moment was just not in the cards, and I was just going to have to be happy with the memories of what was once a great Fed. But then I was notified that my time has finally come. I was informed that the time had come to award Ludi Graves for his contributions to VWE. So I was once again tasked. I know. So I was once again tasked with trying to find the right words to inspire. So I'm giving this the thought it deserved. I then asked myself, Lordy, dude, what is it you want to be remembered for? I've always held my accomplishments in VW proudly. Many of the matches and rivalries I've been a part of will always remain special to me in my heart. But as much as I appreciate the accolades I've received of my work inside the ring, I hope that this award is also reflective of the work I put in outside the ring. If there was one word that would describe the success of VWE back then, it would be sacrifice. We all sacrificed so much of ourselves to make VWE the best damn Fed in SL. All of us. Seth Cameron, Stuart Wharf, Jen Parkin, Ben B. Kirix, Breckman Wilder, Benji Nirvana, Vendetta, Nanny. I'm all about the cheap pop, folks, but I'm not done yet. Okay, thank you very much. Again, Seth Cameron, Stuart Wharf, Jen Parkin, Ben B. Kirix, Breckman Wilder, Benji Nirvana, Vendetta, Nanny, and others as well. If I forgot to name you, I apologize, but it doesn't mean your contributions mean any less. There were just too many of them to remember them all. You know, back then, we were a strong group. I know it's the truth. Back then, we were a strong group of individuals who came all together to form an even stronger team. Individually, we were powerful, but together, we were fucking unstoppable. Back then, we spent our time challenging one another. Back then, good wasn't just good enough. Back then, we cared about our characters, but we cared about the overall product even more. Back then, we took pride in the storylines and matches. And back then, VWE was clearly the best Fed in all of SL Wrestling, period. Maybe today, VWE would still be the best fed if that same dynamic was still driving through all of you. But it's clearly a dynamic that has no place in today's VWE. I want to be remembered as the guy that was here every day doing everything he could do and improve the VWE. I want to be remembered as the guy that was here 4 hours before each show, taking care of production and doing the dirty work the others shirked from. I want to be remembered as the guy that cared enough to sacrifice everything for the good of the Fed he believed in. But most of all, I want to be remembered as the guy that sat here tonight in front of you all and remembered and shared with all of you the map to SL Wrestling Gold that VWE used to possess. Now, before some of you feel that I'm using this moment to stand on a soapbox and verbally trash the current product, let me say that that isn't the intention. When I leave here tonight, if one person is inspired to put the effort we once did inside these walls, then it's a success. A few months back, I tried my hardest to get back in the Fed, but apparently I was voted out. It seems that enough of you sitting here in front of me right now said that this Fed would be worse for the wear if I would have been admitted back in. For those of you who voted for me to come back to VWE, let me take this moment and say thank you. You see, you weren't just letting me back into VWE, you were letting me come home. For so long, I felt such a large empty hole in my heart watching VWE from afar. It was tantamount to watching another man raise your child, while you were forced to sit in the back and watch. So thank you to all of you who still believed that Ludi Graves was good for VWE still to this day. Now, to those of you that voted against me returning to the Fed, I had such a huge hand in building. I especially want to thank you as well. I hold no bitterness towards any of you. The truth is that all of you did was save me from myself. You see, I thought if I was allowed back in, I would be coming home. But the reality is that the VWE I would have been returning to was not the VWE I love. VW has become a haven of mediocrity. It's crazy because to this day, whenever I heard the letters VWE, I felt an inspiring warmth in my heart. I felt a sort of anxiousness and motivation to put forth the effort to help bring back the greatness, but just as fast as I think of it, it's gone. I'm quickly reminded that the VWE that I loved so much is gone. It's dead and it's not coming back, no matter how much any of us want it to. Does this mean VWE is... Does it mean VWE is destined for mediocrity from here on out? Absolutely fucking not. VWE can be as great as any of you want it to be. You just need to care. We all cared back then. We had the dedication. While we allowed non-exclusive contracts, where we were more inclined to take care of those who choose to work for VWE exclusively. But more than that, everyone in management was 100% dedicated to VW first and foremost. We never would have allowed the owner of another Fed to work in our management team. And to be honest, if he owned another Fed, he wouldn't be allowed in the VW period. We care about our product, and we wanted to protect it. And while most outside of our walls saw this as us being elitist or even arrogant, that was fine. We didn't worry about it. And because it took time away from contributing to continue making VWE the one Fed they all wished they could be part of. I know that right now VWE is community friendly, and that's a good thing. But I think I'm standing here before you all today is because I would sacrifice the nice guy Fed VW has become to bring back the assholes that ran the greatest Fed in the history of SL Wrestling. I like being part of greatness, that's no secret. I like challenging myself to be the best. If I didn't, then I wouldn't be the guy standing here today. I'd be the greatest wrestler in the history of PRWW or UHW or APW. And that's just not good enough for me.
Bullshit.
In closing, I just want to again thank all of you involved in giving me this honor. I want to thank you all for giving me one last VWE moment to add to my many others. I have love and respect for all of you. But as I said, as sad as this sounds, this is a moment of graciousness and final recognition for my contribution in a Fed that at one time deserved to be classified as fucking great. I find satisfaction in the fact that my contributions I'm being honored for today are from a time when VWE was at its peak, as opposed to say today when it seemed to fall short more often than succeed. But most of all, I want to be the moment that those of us who were part of VWE in its days of glory and fucking awesomeness, of those of us here tonight that remembered watching VWE in its glory days from a distance, take a moment to remember how it was back and let it inspire you. You see, every day something new in the world inspires me. It could be something new or something from the past, but I let it inspire me. And tonight, I want you all to share in that inspiration with me. I want you all to remember those VWE shows and the effort put into making those shows successful, and allow it to inspire you the way it still inspires me to this very day. Thank you, and may your future travels be faithful and nourishing for all of you. Tonight, I am Ludi, the German sensation Graves, and I am a proud VWE Hall of Famer. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for the German sensation, Ludi Graves. And in closing, ladies and gentlemen, let's have everybody who is either a presenter or being presented come on up on the stage one last time. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, I give you your VWE 2014 class. Thank you, and good night.
This video was filmed on location by Zarrakan Productions. Zarrakan Productions is an umbrella group for many YouTube shows and businesses both inside and outside of Second Life. Please go to zarrakan.com for a complete listing of shows and businesses associated with Zarrakan Productions and their own media links. Zarrakan Productions shows have been organized alphabetically in playlists in a year, month, day format for easier video navigation. Multiple part videos have been named accordingly, starting with part 1, and the last video of a multiple part video series will have end as a part of its title. Please like, comment, and share this video as it helps both Zarrakan Productions and the creators of this video's content. Also, be sure to check the playlists for past episodes of show content, and subscribe to this channel for future videos. Thank you for watching, and happy wandering.